You know what Sony had? The Holy Trinity. Leo, Brad, and Margot. Who do you have?
This week, Christina is back on the show to talk Fred Astaire and Audrey Hepburn in Stanley Donen's classic musical Funny Face. This is Boy Party. Light up the Louvre Museum, jazz up the Latin Quarter, to show the richest and the poorest. Here it comes, the Great American Podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of Boy Party, the podcast about movies where two major stars share the screen and battle it out for top billing, the fattest paycheck, and the most screen time. My name is Lucy Wandaly, and I am joined, as always, by the photographer who has become obsessed with me. He's walked into my place of work and decided that I have a weird enough look that I should be the quality woman of the year. It's Shane Kelly.
You're no Mona Lisa, I can tell you that much.
No, but we have a real Mona Tina in the room with us. Christina Appleby's back on the show, everybody.
Howdy.
Star of our intermission and almost famous episodes. And for once now, we're actually having you on to discuss a real boy party that isn't being crammed into the format. This movie is a real 2 stars, great, iconic team up movie. It's what we love. It's what we love to talk about. And like the stars of this film, you too have a funny face. So welcome back to the show to talk about it. We are discussing Audrey Hepburn once again. We talked about her last year on our Roman holiday episode with a friend of the show, Katie Brady. And Katie Brady has said some horrible things about Fred Astaire in my company. So I wanted to start this week's episode by calling her out for that. Katie has said she doesn't find him charming. She doesn't think that he's a great leading man. She doesn't get the hype. Which has led to me going like berserk on her. So Katie, I'd like to know that this episode is dedicated to you and you being a hater of one of our great leading men, Fred Astaire. So Funny Face, directed by the great Stanley Donen, who of course co-directed Singing in the Rain with Gene Kelly, amongst many other things. Stanley Donen only died insanely in 2019 when he was 94. Donen, I feel like one of the undersung great directors of the 50s and 60s. But this is one of his great films. It's an incredible musical. I love it. I think it's somewhat underappreciated in that you never see Funny Face live on stage. But it's pretty sick. Shane, you hadn't seen it before.
I had not.
You enjoy it?
I did. Very much so.
It's good. Colourful.
I love colours.
Yes.
Colours are class, and colours should be in all the movies. Mm-hmm. And when your movies don't have colour. Now, it's got me thinking about Book of Eli, you know?
Okay, as natural connection there.
Yeah, a film with no colours.
Now, there's a chance that the Book of Eli trailer that we watched, because neither of us have actually seen the film, gives a false impression of how little colour is in that film.
Yes, because we did just stumble across the trailer the last day.
Yeah, and that movie is colour graded grey.
With a tinge of orange.
I would say it looks like cement drying. It's a cement coloured movie.
Mm. Yeah.
Imagine a Funny Face.
At least
like
cement has a purpose.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny. We don't talk about a whole lot of black and white films on this podcast, and it's not because, we do in the sense of anything pre-1950s, obviously. But like, there's certainly a boost, I think, once you get into color era of like, this is one of my favorites. You know, like obviously the Billy Wilder stuff is mostly black and white. The Apartment and Philadelphia Story, Roaring Twenties.
Well, black and white has its own
a musical,
given that it's designed and shot to make use of the contrast.
True.
That's its own tool and has its own charm. Whereas Book of Eli, no contrast, no color.
I will say that I found it very jarring to watch Breakfast at Tiffany's in color when I feel like all the images you see of Breakfast at Tiffany's are all black and white.
Yeah, which is interesting, right? And that's just based on the fact I think that at some point somebody decided that Audrey Hepburn looked better in black and white. In a fashion way. Like,
was it just like her hair color in Breakfast at Tiffany's is so jarring? She has these like blonde highlights in it.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
it's really weird
because the kind of defining image of her in Breakfast at Tiffany's is very much the like dark hair, very black and white, very very striking stark contrast, and then there's a lot more going on.
Is her hair blonde the entirety of Breakfast at Tiffany's?
No, there's blonde streaks in it.
Oh, okay.
Her hair is black.
It's brown with blonde highlights.
It's brown, yeah. But you're right. I think Audrey Hepburn is perceived
usual
by most to be a black and white star, which is so funny.
Mean, if we are to consider color analysis,
which you love.
Yes.
What are her colors?
not that.
Not that.
Not that.
She's like Dakota Johnson, I guess, in that like the blonde hair is just like, oh Jesus.
Yeah, well, Dakota Johnson,
What?
look, with all respect in the world, blonde hair doesn't really suit her.
Beautiful woman.
Beautiful woman, but she needs the hair to be dark.
Funny face.
Funny face.
The Audrey Hepburn of our time.
Yes. Do you think that the colors she is wearing in Funny Face are good, complementary, whatnot?
What's
That
your
is a
take on
good
the
question.
fashion?
Yeah, she wears a lot of black, and I do
Yeah.
think that black looks good on her, and I think that's rare on, definitely most like Irish people. Black looks fucking horrendous on me. Cannot pull off black. She looks fantastic in black. I don't know, is that also enhanced by the fact that she is like such a physical, like visual actor?
Yes.
Both her and Fred, I guess, being
Yes.
trained dancers and stuff, but like, I don't know. I think
Does being
it
in
highlights that kind of looking like a mime.
does being in all black kind of make the limbs stand out more when they're wobbling and dancing and that kind of thing
Perhaps.
against
Maybe.
the background?
I mean, I think it brings out her really dark eyes and eyebrows and stuff.
got
Obviously,
big ol'
as
eyebrows.
well.
Yeah,
like she
she
acts
does.
with her eyes.
Yes.
more than anything.
The film
But yeah,
introduces...
she looks more like a mime in black. as
She
well.
does, and there's a bit of mime to this because it's a lot of this
Absolutely.
film takes place in like dingy cellars in Paris where bohemians hang out. She is introduced in this film as being a very, very bohemian, edgy, academic, intellectual contrast to the world of silly fashion and silly models that the film is set in. And I think the reason she's probably dressed in such dark colors to start off with is because she's meant to be from a much more serious place than the rest of the women that we've been introduced to, who are literally singing about pink for the first 5 minutes of the movie. And then you meet the most kind of contradictory person to the color pink that you could possibly come up with in her character. But we should introduce the premise of this film, which is that a magazine called Quality Magazine, and this film is quite similar in terms of where it's set to The Devil Wears Prada. Which
Oh yeah, that
recently,
was the comparison,
which is funny.
of this
And The
entire
Devil
thing.
Wears Prada now has been turned into a stage musical, and I wonder if some of the songs are at all similar to this. I have no familiarity with them, but we didn't talk about that at all in our Devil Wears Prada episode, the musical. But Quality Magazine needs something new to boost sales, and they decide that pink will be the new thing. But like very quickly, this is shut down, I think, and they're like, you know what we're going to do instead? We're going to get a quality woman, and it's going to be a
All you women we have already.
not
You're no
quality.
good.
We have a one quality woman who symbolizes everything this magazine stands for. But they go out looking for intellectual settings for a photo shoot, and they walk into a Greenwich Village bookstore where there is a young woman called Jo Stockton who is covering for the owner, and she is really interested in philosophy, and particularly a philosophy called empathicalism. Yeah.
Yes.
Which is the idea of having empathy.
Yes. And it's beyond empathy. It's kind of a trans empathy concept. Like.
Okay.
And she's very into the world of philosophy and French philosophers. This is the point in the film at which I'm like, yes, I know why my parents showed me this so young. And she thinks that fashion and modeling is stupid and thinks it's all based on vanity and appearance and is not intellectual or interesting at all. And obviously Fred Astaire's character, who is the photographer, whose name is Dick Avery, which is a great fucking character name. Dick Avery. Yeah. He is charmed and kind of his attention is drawn by her being so contrarian. I think he really likes the fact that she's cynical and different, and he finds this super compelling. So he's gets her up on a ladder that goes across the bookshelves and kisses her, and then they have a big song, and then she's singing about maybe I should reassess my priorities or something. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, she's spotted in the background of the photo shoot, and they're like, she stands out more. She's more interesting because she's not
Funny
the usual
She's
type.
got a funny face.
She's got a funny face.
The film never quite defines what funny face as a concept means. I mean, I guess we're meant to believe that she's like
Unconventional for the
Unconventional.
high fashion.
Did people
world.
just like, were eyebrows just not a thing before
Yes,
Audrey
maybe.
Hepburn? Like,
to be fair, the women that they have lined up before her as models in the magazine all look like silent film actresses. Like they look like people that would have been stars of films 30 years prior to this. Whereas Audrey Hepburn is a new type of Hollywood leading woman who has a very modern and very, I suppose, intercontinental look.
Sure.
She does not look like an American Hollywood star as much as she looks like this kind of interesting European.
She's got a trendy haircut.
Yes. She has a trendy haircut. She looks like a modern person.
She does.
The reason she looks like a modern person is because Audrey Hepburn is one of the like 3 benchmarks for modern
beauty standards
and fashion. I think is like, oh yes, I wonder why everyone today looks like her. It's almost as if she is what everybody
Everyone
is.
wishes they look like
I do.
her.
Sure.
Does this film have contempt for the world of philosophy and
That's an interesting one. I know. I think my parents are very touchy about this and about media that makes a mockery of philosophy and intellectualism. And they love this film because I think the way that it plays around with it is very, very witty and funny and silly and done with some affection. I mean, with the exception of the fact that the philosopher character ends up to be a creep. I do think that like the world of all this stuff is depicted in kind of a silly, goofy way rather than like a isn't this stupid like mocking way.
I would have thought, him being the creep was more so the
that's
aspect of making a mockery out of it.
Yeah, there's kind of a point there that
philosophy?
like no one actually takes this seriously at all.
It's all a performance.
It's all performative with the objective of just getting what you want.
I guess, but like the fact that they're using like empathicalism, like they've taken it to an extreme that even those in the philosophy world would kind of roll their eyes at. You know,
Sure.
It's pushing it to an extreme. I think she obviously references in her song like I want to be here where Jean-Paul Sartre used to hang out. Like there are references to like real important figures in philosophy. But your man, the creepy guy at the end, Professor Flostre, I mean, ultimately maybe that's just more commentary on what French men are like than on the philosophy world.
Honestly,
Don't trust a French
fair.
man. Like, honestly fair.
Well, like it's a he displays a lack of empathy.
He does.
You would say.
Exactly. He's contradicting his own philosophy.
Yeah.
I would make the case that this film is much more sneering and mocking towards the fashion world than it is towards the philosophy world.
You think so?
Marginally so, I guess. I mean, I think that the world of like models and stuff is, even when they're in the bookshop at the start, is shown to be very, very silly and surface level.
I find it kind of hard to tell if that's what they're getting at or if it's just general misogyny like at play.
Perhaps.
Just being like,
there's that.
These women are so stupid.
Maybe.
Unless they have a funny face.
Maybe. But the third lead of the film is Maggie Prescott, who's the editor of the magazine. She's played by Kay Thompson, and she's not dissimilar to the Meryl Streep type in Devil Wears Prada, but I'm not really familiar with Kay Thompson. I looked her up. Turns out she's the creator of the Eloise at the Plaza books. Isn't that interesting? She's like more successful as like a children's author than as an actress. Her character is a certain type of 1950s film version of a woman in a job, I guess, who's like very, 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 very like tense about everything until she's not. And then
I mean, as I was just saying to you like 2 minutes ago, she is very much the stereotype, I suppose, of like woman who works in either of our industries, I guess.
Sure.
I don't know. I thought it was a much more progressive depiction of a woman in that position where she seemed like she wasn't uptight at all. She took on feedback from Fred Astaire when he's like, oh, you're not being imaginative. And she was like, that's a fair point. I'm gonna.
Yeah, but that's just her letting a man boss her around, isn't it?
It isn't. But like, it was up to her to do that. And I think when they go to the French man's pervert's house at the end, and she pulls out her musical number, she's willing to.
Well, that's great. Yeah.
She's willing to be silly and
True.
go along with the adventures and stuff. I don't think there's any sort of like
that's fair
uptightness or sternness to her. Significantly less than like Miranda from.
Yes. No, that's
Devil Wears Prada.
That's fair.
How much is that like the people involved in making this wanting to emanate like Fred and Ginger sort of a dynamic
that they couldn't get with Audrey Hepburn because her vibes were so different. Yeah, that they
not
wanted
even necessarily like just that they couldn't get with Audrey, but just that like
they wanted a woman closer to him in age that they could do the kind of the married couple bickering thing that he's very good at with Ginger Rogers. That they could do that with Kay Thompson because Audrey's just like a completely different type of chemistry going on between the two of them.
Oh, I think him and Kay are significantly more,
of course, it makes way more sense.
Romantic couple in this, like there's much more tension
in the modern version of this film. That's the couple that ends up together, not him and the 28-year-old.
Yeah, I don't I've kind of forgotten any sort of romantic element between Fred Astaire and Audrey Hepburn in this at all.
Most of the romance that occurs between them is just like communicated through dance.
Yeah, and like generally all the nice gestures he does for her are just generally protective and stuff you would be doing regardless of a
younger coworker or a daughter figure.
It's all right, I'm going to stop you.
Yes,
help you away from the pervert and get you a job.
Yes, the difficulty with Fred Astaire, it's not a difficulty, maybe it's a strength, is that his relationship with all of his younger female love interests is generally a little bit paternal and quite platonic.
Oh, it's incredibly paternal and platonic in this. And I think if you removed the romantic element of it, this film doesn't really change.
Yeah.
There's a couple of like moments in like, especially, oh my God, what's that number where she's like on her balcony and he's
I know
down in the courtyard and stuff. And then
let's
she goes inside.
Let's kiss and make up.
Yes. And he like jumps up the fire escape and it's like such a creepy sort of a move, but it just looks so weird when he does it because
nothing he does is
like,
creepy. Yeah.
No, you're so harmless. Why are you like being made to be so creepy right now?
Like that sequence thankfully does turn into just a solo dance number of him on the ground,
which is what we want. Yeah. We talked on the Roman Holiday episode about how Gregory Peck's vibes towards her weren't creepy either.
No.
Because Gregory Peck's energy is like very, I guess, teacherly, kind of teacherly masculinity. And then Fred Astaire's is kind of, because he's like mostly known for his dancing, his particular brand of middle-aged man is very non-threatening. You could argue that maybe there's something a little bit not heterosexual about it. I don't think that Fred Astaire ever strikes me as being like explicitly not heterosexual the way that Cary Grant does. But I do think that who's also, of course, been in films with Audrey Hepburn like Charade, but I do think that
it's so sad that we're coming to that conclusion.
It's not creepy though.
Like,
there's probably not that much of a difference
if you're casting a man
Fred Astaire's relationship and Tucci and Hathaway and Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, exactly right. Like if you're casting a man in his mid to late 50s opposite a woman in her late 20s as a couple, there's only two ways that can go. To a modern viewer like us, it's either going to be creepy or it's going to be asexual. And I think that the successful casting of Astaire and Peck in these two films is that it feels pretty asexual and just like a respectful kind of surface level romance.
So grim. I find it so eerie that there seems to just be this expectation that obviously the men will just keep pushing until they get what they want.
But I don't know. But like there's...
that's what... It feels like that's what all these characters are kind of written like.
And the actors are doing a lot of work to undermine that? Maybe. If you were casting this today, I said you could probably get away with Keira Knightley as the funny face, right?
Yeah.
That works fine. In terms of who'd play the man,
well,
I do think George Clooney, you could get away with it. I think George Clooney's got a little bit of that...
Can he dance?
Probably not.
Probably not.
But he's got a little bit of the Fred Astaire general.
He's got the classic
look. And he does also, I think, is an actor who isn't creepy with his co-stars.
I wonder if in Jay Kelly, his star persona is a Fred Astaire type.
I wonder. Although that's set in the present day.
Oh, yeah, but I guess so.
I do think that Clooney never has love interests in films who are significantly younger than him. That's the thing. He's generally with Julia Roberts, Catherine Zeta-Jones, people who are like within a couple of years of him. But if he was, I think it would be much less creepy than a lot of his counterparts. Now, Keira Knightley in Begin Again is with Ruffalo, who is, I guess, 20-ish years older than her.
But they're not explicitly in a romantic situation.
No, you're right.
Though.
They're not. But when the film hints that they're going to be, I think it still works quite well. Because I think Ruffalo is another actor who doesn't feel like he's got bad intentions no matter what the situation, except maybe in like Poor Things and films where he's explicitly creepy. But the other, I don't know what other men, his Audrey Hepburn, the older men, you're talking William Holden, Humphrey Bogart, Cary Grant, as I mentioned. Who else is there? Rex Harrison, which is the one that doesn't work for me. I mean, Rex Harrison is creepy. He has bad vibes. It doesn't help that he's famously hates the Irish. It's just an awful bollocks.
Who do you think she has really good chemistry with?
I think
Fred Astaire.
I think the chemistry is not objectively has to be good romantic chemistry. I suppose.
I'm not even explicitly referring to that.
Like I think she works well with Cary Grant. I think she works well with Peter O'Toole. I've never seen the movie with Albert Finney, Two for the Road, which I'd love to see. We watched her in Love in the Afternoon last week. I thought that Gary Cooper in that was an absolute snoozy time performance.
Rag, like.
Yeah, there was nothing going on there. I mean, she's got great kind of paternal chemistry in that with Maurice Chevalier, who plays her father. Great back and forth, works really well. I mean, Maurice Chevalier could act opposite a fucking teacup and it would be delightful. But I think Gary Cooper in that film, like that role desperately needs somebody with the charm of the other guys we're talking about.
Has she been across from Jack Lemmon at all?
No, never.
Are they kind of two sides of the same?
I don't know.
Coin a little bit.
I don't know.
I was wondering that too.
I think it just never came about.
Yeah,
like she doesn't really make that many. She never really made that many films, you know. But no, it was never in any films with Jack Lemmon. I mean, ultimately, the one bit of chemistry I will absolutely reject from her is that George Peppard in Breakfast at Tiffany's is again a complete black hole of charisma, and that film would be improved by a whole star if that role was played by an actor that I actually like. If it was Rock Hudson or someone like that. George Peppard does nothing in Breakfast at Tiffany's. It's really dull. Fred Astaire, though, what I was saying about him with his kind of paternal relationships is that the reason I love Finian's Rainbow so much is because I think when he's actually playing the father to a daughter, and that's the dynamic in that film, and he has no romance. That's what works so well for me about Finian's Rainbow, and I think that film is incredible because
fantastic.
He's playing the older man in that, even though he's not even that old. I mean, it's 10 years after Funny Face. 14 years after, maybe. He's in his sort of I don't know, late 60s in that, and he's travels to the US from Ireland with his daughter, who's played by the great Petula Clark, who is still alive, which is class. And they go to what's the name of the area that they end up in? They're in Rainbow Valley in a state of Mississippi. Which is close to Fort Knox, and his character is Finian McLonergan. Folks, this is a film made by Francis Ford Coppola that most people have not seen, a musical that I adore, in 1968. Him and Petula Clark travel to Rainbow Valley because there's a pot of gold buried there, and he has a basically lifelong feud with a leprechaun played by Tommy Steele, who is kind of guarding the pot of gold, but Finian wants it before he dies because he wants wealth and immortality or whatever. And they basically end up living on a commune run by a guy called Woody. And this commune is being sort of motivated by the potential for a tobacco mint hybrid that is being developed by a black guy who's a botanist called Howard. And their lives intersect with a local racist senator played by Keenan Wynn, who is magically turned black by a spell cast upon him by Petula Clark's character. And the leprechaun and the white man who's been turned black and the mint tobacco hybrid laboratory all basically form the series of events in this plot. It is, as you can tell, a movie for crazy people. One of my favorite films of all time. I must have seen it 10, 15 times.
You showed me some of it here a couple of months ago.
Crazy, but it's great.
Give me my julep.
Yeah. There's a great scene where Howard is hired as a butler for the racist senator, and he decides to provoke him. And the racist senator, Keenan Wynn, is lying on a hammock outside, and he's like, "Get me my mint julep!" And the Howard character walks at
so
a snail's
slowly.
pace and goes, "I'm a coming back," and he starts to do this like very cartoonish, like, "Here's what a black butler talks like" voice.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm a coming, mister," and it's really, really great. And it's just like, this movie's so fucking funny. And yes, there is a significant amount of blackface in this film. If you don't want to have to see that, then it's probably not the film for you. It is done in jest, and it is done with the intention of, I suppose,
that is not the funny face we were talking about.
No, it is done with the intention of making a mockery of this racist character. But it's a great film, and more people should see Finian's Rainbow. And it is my favorite Fred Astaire performance.
Chances are you were possibly made to perform this production in
Perhaps.
blackface if you are a child in
an Irish
Ireland
school.
of my generation.
Yes, there's a weird amount
in
of
an all-girls school.
schools that have done Finian's Rainbow as a musical because they've, I guess, run out of other musicals to do, and it must be royalty free or something. Despite the fact that like no one has seen the film, which is
Is the film based on a musical?
it's based on a musical, and like Yip
so
Harburg
it
wrote the
is-
songs,
yeah.
and it's very funny. But like, I mean, Finian's Rainbow is forgotten despite being a Coppola movie. But yet there are children all over Ireland, well, people our age, who have done this musical on stage. It's very funny.
Yeah, I feel like it's something people are just generally aware of in Ireland.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, it's it's Irish theme. That helps
Yeah,
as well.
sure.
So my parents bought me a poster, original theatrical poster for Finian's Rainbow, signed by Fred Astaire and Petula Clark.
Oh, wow.
That's so sick.
Which we have in storage back in Cork, which I need to frame at some point and put up. And I have the soundtrack on vinyl from an original release as well. There's been a lot of investment in my family in Finian's Rainbow related items. My other fun Fred Astaire thing is that my grandmother was a telephone switchboard operator in Cork in the, I suppose, 1970s, 1980s. And she was once put through to a call from the United States that she needed to redirect to a house in Ireland. And that call was, as the story goes, Fred Astaire on the other end of the phone. And he was like, can you please put me through to my friends in Waterford? It's Fred Astaire. And as far as she's concerned, it was the real guy. There was no reason to believe it wasn't. Don't think
They
people
didn't do prank calls back then.
No, exactly. No one would lie about their identity on the phone in the 1970s.
Yeah, if one person did it, the entire phone system would collapse.
Yeah, exactly. Because there'd never be any trust ever again.
No.
It was all based on goodwill. So yeah, Finian's Rainbow, Fred Astaire, very important to my family, and my grandmother got to talk to him, which is class. But anyway, so Funny Face. In terms of the songs, Christina, we identified pretty early on watching this that this was a Gershwin production.
Yes.
Tell me your thoughts on the music in this as a musical aficionado.
I would really like to see the stage version. I must look it up on the YouTube at some point because yes, there are a few good Gershwin bangers in there, but it wasn't immediately apparent to me just because Audrey is not. She's not singing super tunefully. Not even in a she's acting.
Yes,
She's doing her Spreckstein.
She was famously dubbed on My Fair Lady, so this is actually the first time that she ever sings in a film.
Yeah, she's just. Yeah, I'm not trying to insult her as I say that, just not singing it very tunefully where I could actually identify it. This is the stereotype of the person that studies music and is like, oh, sorry, I don't recognize your song because you're not, your pitch isn't tight enough.
Look, the bit for me that did it was the, how long has this been going on? That to me was like, and I think I captured it there. That sounds like what Gershwin sounds like.
You're absolutely right. I mean, the music is definitely not bad in this.
No, but it's not. It's not spectacular.
Better. I don't know. I have my own beef with "Wonderful," the song which was on at the end.
There's only four or five songs in this. 5 songs in this that were written for the original musical in 1927. How Long Has This Been Going On was written for the musical but was not used in it. Funny Face was in the musical. Let's Kiss and Make Up, He Loves and She Loves, and Wonderful. They were for the stage musical.
So the opening sequence song,
Think Pink, and Bonjour Paris, and On How to Be Lovely, and Clap Your Hands are all originals. Sorry, Clap Your Hands is in fact from a different musical by Gershwin called OK.
That's so funny.
O, comma, K-A-Y, exclamation point.
Sorry, 3 of those songs you listed that are not in the stage musical are like
the best ones.
Yes, I was going to say the same.
Of course. Bonjour Paris is the best song in this movie,
yes,
for sure. And it's one of the best scenes. And Think Pink is fantastic.
Clap Your Hands.
I mean, Your Sunny Funny
next.
Face is
Clap Your
also
Hands
pretty
is
good. But
it's all right.
Yeah, no,
it's not one I'd be going around singing like. Whereas Bonjour Paris, I feel like you and I were singing that last time we were in.
That's real New York. It
is.
Like, it's a wonderful town.
I should point out as well, Stanley Donen directed On the Town.
Oh, did it? Yes.
There's a lot of On the Town crossover here. But yes, exactly. Oh my God, it's so good. Like, just like listing places in Paris to go.
And then the chauffeurs show up in their outfits.
Yeah.
And
it's so good.
But I think Gershwin also wrote these songs definitely like with the actors in mind. I have absolutely no evidence to back this up. It just, it would strike me as such because it really, it does allow the dancing to shine, both in Fred's case and in Audrey's case.
Do you think I mean, Bonjour Paris sounds
it doesn't distract
like
from it, like
the most appropriate for their singing voices. Like, that sounds like he wrote that with those actors in mind.
Yeah.
What do you think about the "My Husband Died, Now I Love Him" song in French? performed by the lady at the party.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to
Yes.
stab him with knives.
I'm gonna
my
stab.
God.
Yeah, I'm gonna stab
That's
him
great.
with
Oh,
knives.
that was pretty sick, actually.
When he
That's pretty
died, I
great.
finally missed him or something.
Yeah.
That was great.
Is there anything specific to say about any of these
Back
musical
Gershwin?
numbers? There's the one of her in the bookshop on her own. Funny Face is in the dark room, which is a really cool setting for a musical
great.
number.
Yeah.
Bonjour at Paris does a really interesting thing where it splits the screen 3 ways, so you have shots of the 3 leads in different areas of Paris.
Yeah.
With like a weird kind of fuzzy fade between each of them. It's pretty well done.
Definitely the weakest number and scene in this film is the first time they're at the church doing the wedding
exactly.
shoot.
He
I
loves and she loves. Yeah, boring song, boring church. I agree with you completely.
and again, I just was not invested in any sort of romance between the two of them, so I was like,
No,
okay.
but like the weirdest thing is that the original title of this was Wedding Bells.
Oh, that's weird.
Bizarre. Weird. The plot of the
So
film is
weird.
adapted from a different musical called Wedding Bells, and the original title of the film was Wedding Day. This is not a
Oh my
wedding themed
gosh.
movie. That would
That
be
is
so
so
I'm going
misleading.
to rename The Devil Wears Prada to The Breakup.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah. To go back on your point anyway, I think, when you're hiring Fred Astaire to be in your movie, you want it to be a big dance movie.
Oh,
like,
of course.
I do feel like they kind of just let him go off, like,
Yeah.
perfect his thing, and then kind of work everything else can work around that.
Yes. He was obviously one of the 2 great dancing actors of the mid-century with Gene Kelly, who we've talked about before, and they're a fun duo. They did dance together once, right? And it was in, what was it in?
Yes.
You were watching earlier.
It's Gershwin as well.
It's
Babbitt and the
Ziegfeld Follies,
something.
right?
I don't know.
It's
like the B
Babbitt
and the
the
B.
Babbitt and the Bromide is
It's
the name of
some,
the
like,
song.
Alice in Wonderland type.
Yeah, so
like
Astaire's Fred's sister Adele Astaire was like a showgirl dancer as well.
she did a lot of his choreography and stuff for Broadway, I think, as well.
Yeah, so it's Vincent Minnelli's film Ziegfeld Follies where the 2 of them dance together, which is really fun. Yolanda and the Thief's a great movie. Oh man, there's so many. There's a couple of really great musicals that he's in. I will quickly shout out. A lot of them are kind of the same. Like there's stuff with Ginger Rogers, like Swing Time and The Gay Divorcee. Like a lot of those films are very similar. And I wouldn't necessarily be sitting down and being like, oh man, I'm going to put on one of these random Fred and Ginger movies. But like if I walked into someone's house and those movies were on TV, I would be delighted to see them. I know that Yolanda and the Thief is class because a lot of that movie takes place in sort of dream sequences. He's playing like a cool thief in that, as the title implies. Lucille Bremner's in it. It's directed by Vincent Minnelli. I think that makes a big difference. There's great colors. Easter Parade is shown a disproportionate amount on television and in cinemas because of Easter being in the title.
Right.
And that's him and Judy Garland. And I think the most memorable number from that is like we're just a couple of things we did. It's the one where they're dressed up as like bums. Like that's a fun song. Then The Bandwagon is another Minnelli movie which is amazing with him and Sid Charisse.
So
And that
good.
features the sequence of them as babies where their heads are on little baby bodies, and also one of the greatest songs Fred Astaire ever sang, which is That's Entertainment, which is so good. The Bandwagon's really, really great.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was like the only content in which I really consumed of Fred Astaire's growing up, I think, was just shorts of his dance numbers in musicals, and I don't know how I consumed this. I don't know if it was from TV specials.
Yeah, I tell you what it could have
or
been. It could have been
YouTube,
one of these like
or-
100 greatest movie musicals things that
Yeah.
they'd show on UK TV Gold.
Yeah.
That would be 4 hours long, and they would spend 10 minutes on every movie, and they'd have talking heads being like, and this movie was one of Fred's biggest hits.
Like, I didn't realize he was an actor until very
You
recently.
thought he was just a dancer.
Yes.
It's interesting because
And I thought he was like a dancer with Ginger almost exclusively.
Yeah, he does good acting in these films, but then in his non-musical roles, of which, to be fair, I've only seen like 1 or 2, but we talked last year about his 1 Oscar nomination, which was for the Towering Inferno.
That's crazy.
He's not really that good in the Towering Inferno.
I don't remember much of him.
Nobody's good in the Towering Inferno. And then I watched
The Tower is good.
The Tower's good. I watched a little bit of this nuclear holocaust movie he's in with Gregory Peck and Ava Gardner called On the Beach. And I don't think he's particularly good in it either. He's kind of just like, he's like the thing with Fred Astaire, the man, a big Republican. He was a chair of some Republican committee of some kind. He goes into our column of bad politics.
I miss the Republican Party that let Fred
Astaire
in.
I know. He's the John Voight of his day.
Yeah.
But like Gene Kelly was big Democrat, big, anti-McCarthyism guy. Fred Astaire, I don't have any evidence of him being pro-McCarthyism, but he was a Republican. So you do have these funny splits where like Jimmy Stewart and Henry Fonda or these two guys where one of them was just like kind of evil and one of them was a sweetheart. But I don't know if he's great in these dramatic films. I think maybe the singing and the dancing is where he's best at communicating his characters. And he's
absolutely
wonderful as a star of musicals. But
sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead.
I'm saying the constant threat of him breaking out into dance kind of just adds something to the non-dancing
for sure
parts as well.
Because you're waiting for it to happen. It adds a bit of tension.
Is it?
No, it's great.
It's very High School Musical, actually.
For sure.
There's actually one of his numbers. It's called "I Won't Dance" that he does with Ginger, I think, which he plays the most insane piano intro in, by the way, and like plays it with such proficiency, like great technique.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't see any evidence of it not being him actually playing it.
Yeah, he seems like someone who would have, but he was performing as a child, right? Like he would have had all that skill drilled into him.
That makes a lot of sense. It does come across as such. Anyway, that dance number is like such a similar premise to I Don't Dance in High School Musical 2.
That's really funny.
It's crazy, but I feel like a lot of the ways in which his dances are sort of introduced are very High School Musical.
Yes. Do you have a relationship with the Children's Hour with Audrey Hepburn? You do, right?
Oh, I sure do. I in fact won an acting competition playing Karen in the Children's Hour.
I don't think I realized you won a competition.
Oh, I sure did.
That's
and I'm
class.
so proud of it because this guy who I was competing against, we were like friends in music growing up, and then we hadn't seen him in years, and then I saw him at that and I was like, oh no, you're like going to be an actor. And he was in oh my god, what's the name of the musical?
Which one?
The South Park, what's it called?
The Book of Mormon.
The Book of Mormon, thank you. He was in the Book of Mormon live. I was just like, oh, that's that guy. Haha, I beat him.
You actually saw him in the Book of Mormon.
Yeah, I did.
That's hilarious. That's
and I was like, oh my god, I beat him before my jaw surgery at that.
Very good.
Anyway, not to toot my own tutor. But yeah, no, I thought Audrey did a good job with the Children's Hour as well. I haven't seen it in many years, probably since then. Shirley MacLaine, also good job.
Yes.
Chemistry between the two of them, also good.
Yeah, Audrey's a great actress. We had a claim by Niamh Mary on the show a few weeks ago that Marilyn Monroe was a better, or if not equal, better actress than Audrey Hepburn, which I've been thinking about.
Just a different type of actor, I imagine. I mean, I haven't seen enough of Marilyn's
That's
filmography.
the thing. I hadn't seen any of Marilyn's dramatic stuff until I watched the what's it called, The Misfits.
But I do find a bit
She's
of like
very good.
self-consciousness and kind of strain nearly to Audrey's vocal acting generally, and I do think she's a much more visual, sort of physical actor.
Yeah,
I imagine than Marilyn is. Maybe Marilyn is too. I wouldn't know.
Different type,
to be honest.
Yeah.
But Audrey does seem to kind of do most of her acting with her facial expressions, like with her eyebrows, with her big doughy eyes, and with her mouth, like and then with her
with her limbs,
her gestures in Funny Face anyway.
It is I found it quite interesting. I found there to be like a noticeable difference from her kind of in motion and then the few shots where they cut to stills of her and her photos.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, this is kind of a normal modern looking woman, and then the photos cut in of her being taken, and it's like, oh, there's kind of like,
we should mention the scene of with her and the balloons outside the Arc de Triomphe is directly referenced in the big final scene in La La Land. There's a shot of Emma Stone with the same thing of balloons. Audrey Hepburn wouldn't do the movie unless Fred Astaire would do it with her. She wanted to be in a film with him, which is funny. She gets first.
Who else would they have had?
I don't know.
Other dancing man?
I don't know, Gene Kelly. I don't know.
Yeah.
They would weirdly, considering Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire are very different types, and like Gene Kelly looks like he could have been in the army, and Fred Astaire looks like he was kind of a grandfather in his 20s. You know, he has old man neck, old man head. Weirdly, the modern, I do need to shout out the modern actor who reminds me the most of Fred Astaire is actually John Spencer from The West Wing, who looks exactly like Fred Astaire in my opinion. Has been dead now for 20 years, but
yes,
very similar.
Yeah,
The old,
okay,
Leo McGarry looks a lot like him. What was I going to say? Audrey first build on this movie, which is interesting. I mean, this film starts on Fred. He's kind of our initial, I guess, audience surrogate. So it's interesting that she was considered a bigger star. Or fair play to
much
her.
bigger on the poster.
Yeah, she's huge on the poster. That's great for her as a female star to have had that kind of leverage.
Is this pre or post Roman Holiday?
What?
Is this pre or post?
That is a good question. I think this is post Roman Holiday, but I'm going to have to verify. This is post Roman Holiday. Roman Holiday is 53. This is 57. The character of the photographer is based on a guy called Richard Avedon, who provided a number of the photographs seen in the film, including the stills for the opening credits, which were used in the halls of Quality magazine. Yeah, the opening credits are great.
They give a very direct reference in the name. Richard Avedon to Dick Avery.
Yes, that's true. The most famous,
I wonder who this is about.
Yeah, the most famous image from the film is the intentionally overexposed close-up of Hepburn's face. The image is seen briefly in black and white at the beginning of the opening titles, and then it's shown in the darkroom scene. The film was a box office disappointment and failed to make its money back. However, when My Fair Lady was released, Paramount theatrically reissued Funny Face, and as a result of Hepburn's new level of success, the film drew substantial crowds and finally turned a profit. That's interesting. She wasn't even at the peak of her powers here.
No.
I guess she would, like, My Fair Lady is like a next level for her, which is a film that as we said with Katie, I don't think myself or Katie particularly like. I just think that film's kind of mean-spirited, and Rex Harrison kind of sucks in it. We do need to talk about the final scene with, the Fred and the Clap Your Hands. It's fantastic. Yeah. Fred and the other lady whose name I keep forgetting, Kate Thompson, basically dress up and disguise themselves to sneak into the club, or it's his house, is it? It's a party in Professor Foster's.
He calls it his salon.
Yeah,
but it's
his apartment. So they wear. Fred wears a goatee and like creepy guy outfit.
I guess they're trying to pretend to be French.
They're trying to. Well, they're trying. Yeah, they're pretending to be cool
Florida
intellectuals.
people.
Yeah, they dress up and intend to be French and try speaking French, and then
they get mistaken for Floridians.
Yeah,
yes,
then
which
she
is
says, "We're
great.
from
Which is a great gag because
Yeah.
they can just switch back to speaking English.
And then you have the brilliant scene where the real Floridians show up, and they're like, "I've never seen these people in Florida ever. Send them away. Get rid of them. They don't belong here."
They come in an outrageously funny little car.
Yeah.
It's like
it's
like a fucking marshmallow where the
door
opens
is
the front of the car.
Oh, it's so cool. And then they do this insane like improvised musical number where they're just like saying any old shit basically.
Yeah,
they've been put on the spot where it's like,
good.
"You're musicians, do a musical number for us," and all these unimpressed French
Every
people are
great
sitting on the
musical
floor.
needs one.
Yeah, and they just start to just like fuck around basically. And the best bit is when he's just like, "Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle," just trying to.
I thought they were trying to make a point here that if you go to one of these kind of intellectual parties, no matter what sort of shite you throw out, people will be like, interesting.
Yes, maybe.
Their number was preceded by the I'm going to stab my husband song.
Scene. Yeah, you're right. That's true. It's really, really good. Great scene. So yeah, nothing else to say about Funny Face, really. We will do the Letterboxd top 4 game. This is, of course, the game where I will pick somebody's Letterboxd top 4 that has Funny Face in it, and you guys will have to guess the other 3 films. And we started doing it with celebrities' top 4s because Letterboxd does a lot of that, obviously, and it's fun. And there's only one celebrity, according to my database, that has ever put Funny Face in their top 4 when asked, and that is 80s star Molly Ringwald from The Breakfast Club. So we have a problem here, which is that there's one of these 4 films that I have never heard of.
Oh,
so you're only gonna have 2. You're gonna have 2 movies to guess. One of these films is Knights of Cabiria, whatever that is. Apologies, I'm ignorant.
Is that a Muse song?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And then we have Funny Face, and then there are 2 more on here. All right, let's see if you can get these. I don't know. Okay, so Molly Ringwald. We got a classic French movie here, and there is a film being released this year about the making of this film.
Oh.
Now, yes. So, and the film being released this year is being made by a major director whose films have been covered on this podcast and is a major American filmmaker.
Yep.
So let's see if anyone can get this one.
I know it.
There is a remake of this film starring Richard Gere with the same name.
Oh.
This is a film that my parents have a poster in their house for. This is one of the most famous French films ever made. It is the film that has
Interesting.
kind of defines an entire era of French cinema.
Yeah. Oh, the Linklater.
Well, the Linklater film is about the making of it. Yes.
Nouvelle Vague.
Nouvelle Vague is a film about the making of this film.
What's this film?
Yes.
Shit.
You can give me
I
a
don't
French,
think I was
forgot what I was
aware
French
this was
or
being
English
made.
title.
I forgot what I was guessing there.
And no one's got it.
I don't think I was aware this was being made.
All right.
to be honest.
This
Like, what era are we talking about?
This is a 1960s classic Nouvelle Vague French film with Jean Seberg. I'll tell you, this movie is A Bout de Souffle, otherwise known as Breathless.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a remake with Richard Gere.
I'm a movie.
You guys are really showing
I
up.
never
You're
heard
really
of that.
showing up your. You're really showing up your lack of French
like-
cinema here. Okay, and then fourth favorite film is one of the most famous Venice movies. It's about a little murdered child,
Oh.
Oh, the best kind.
and it has
Lovely.
a very similar name to an Adam McKay movie. And
Don't look down.
No, you're close though, and it features a sex scene that is very famous for being well, people speculate that it is real. And
Right.
the man in the sex scene is a great actor who died last year. And this movie's set in Venice, and it's directed by Nicholas Roeg.
Who died last year?
Anyone got anything for me?
Who
Any
did
guesses?
die last year?
Yeah,
Gene Hackman was this year.
it's not Gene Hackman. Great Canadian actor who died last year.
Oh, my days.
Nope. This movie stars Donald Sutherland and Julie Christie.
Oh.
The film is called Don't Look Now.
Don't look now.
All right. Well done, guys. You did great. All right.
Sorry, Molly Ringwald. We're not
Yes,
familiar with your game.
apologies.
Do we want to do the box office for 1957?
I would have guessed funny face.
I guess so.
Let's see.
This isn't up there anyway.
No, this film,
gonna be
as
even
we
worse at this
mentioned,
game.
cost $3 million and made $2.5 million. What's that in? What's that in today money?
Just multiply it by 10. I don't know.
This movie was probably pretty
16 or something?
expensive. Like multiply it by 10. Yeah.
Multiply it by 16. Did I hear that somewhere before?
From what? The 1950s.
Oh, maybe that's
Oh,
from
no.
earlier.
What's oh no?
I just googled funny face the numbers and look what came up.
it's a number with a funny
Oh,
face.
he's so
It's just like
cute.
colorful numbers with eyes. Ready to go?
Yeah.
7.
This is,
What else came out in
if you
1950?
watch this, you'd
The
be having.
game.
If you watch this, you'd be having a lean night.
A lean night.
Yeah,
What does a lean night mean? Oh, it's a David Lean movie.
yeah.
Lawrence of
Oh.
Arabia?
Nope.
Is it about war?
Probably.
Probably.
Probably. I'm not actually sure.
I don't know. Is it like The Bridge on the River Kwai?
It is the bridge over the River Kwai.
You know
Oh, wow.
you know who loves The Bridge on the River Kwai? George Hook.
Oh, of course.
You know what's a great film? The Bridge on the River Kwai.
Your George Hook impression is just the same as your Coach Steve impression.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. That's my George Hook impression. My Coach Steve impression is
Hey Jay, want to help me take out some badminton equipment?
Badminton.
those are different voices. Those are different
equipment.
voices. I put a lot more
There,
gravel
there.
into the hook.
The hook is a lot more slime.
Yes, it does. Coach Steve is a good person. George Hook is a horrible person. That's the
Yeah.
difference. All right, up next.
A Mark
George Hook is someone who should be
Robson
cheaper.
picture.
I don't know who that is.
Small town America will never be the same again.
Oh Jesus, I don't
Not
know.
a single person I follow in the
All right,
boxes.
I don't know what this
This
is.
is Lana Turner, Hope Lange, Lee Phillips.
Nope, don't know what
Lloyd
this
Noel.
is.
Peyton Place.
I've no idea what that is. Never heard of that in
I've
my
never
entire
heard
life.
of it.
Second
either.
highest grossing film of the year.
Yeah, fake movie. Never existed.
Okay.
No, they made it up.
Next we got
Playing games.
a word that I believe means goodbye.
Au revoir.
No, different language.
What's Spanish for goodbye?
Au
Nope.
revoir, dogs.
Italian.
Nope.
Chinese.
Nope.
Japanese.
Oh, maybe. Korean?
Korean. Korean for goodbye. What? Japanese for goodbye. Japanese for goodbye.
Oh God.
I might be outing myself. As
I don't
the,
think I
lang-
know how to say goodbye in any
What
of
the
these
hell is this?
This
languages.
is a Marlon Brando, Patricia Owens film.
I would just say thank you.
It's a Marlon Brando movie, and the name is a word for goodbye in another language. Wow, that's an interesting one.
I really hope I got that right.
You have the director there?
Josh Uwalogan.
No, I have no idea what this is.
Sayonara.
Sayonara, the name of
Oh.
Kneecap's new single.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Huh.
What language is Sayonara?
Did I make that up?
Sayonara. I always thought that was Spanish. I'm very
I
sorry.
have no idea, to be honest.
Sayonara.
This
Yeah.
is
That's Kneecap's most recent
it's
song.
a Japanese word that's been popular.
There
in
you go.
informal
I never
world
thought that was a
languages
Japanese
in
word.
Well
Fascinating.
done.
There you go. All right.
Hasta la vista.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's
many
okay.
such.
Exactly. I associate it with Hasta la Vista.
Okay.
Yes,
Next
yeah.
up
Give us one or two more.
is a search for something.
A search for the movie's called A Search for Something.
Yeah, search for and then
It's not Star Trek Search for Spock.
Quest
The search
for something.
for.
Oh, it's in the word is
What is-
actually search for.
I don't know.
search for. It's a 3-word title.
Search for. I don't know what this is.
Oh.
Directed by Otto Lang.
If you don't
No, I
know,
have no idea what
don't
this is.
know.
Oh, this is a.
What is it?
This is a
weird
himself / narrator, soundtrack singer. This is a
Jesus.
weird music thing.
What the fuck is this?
This is Search for Paradise. I think we're getting some weird.
What is this?
Yeah.
This is a weird
I
year.
have no idea.
This is like Sound of Freedom bullshit.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you also don't know these.
No, these are fake, not
okay.
real.
Old
movies.
Yeller, Raintree Country.
Yeah. Old
Island
Yeller
in the Sun,
sucks.
Farewell Arms.
Yeah.
Pal Joey.
Pal
Gunfight-
Joey, Kim Novak, Frank Sinatra.
Gunfight at the OK
way.
Corral.
Oh, that's a boy
and-
party and a half.
Gunfire at the not so great corral.
And don't go near the water.
That's a good message. It's an important message. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to my funny-faced friends, Shane and Christina, for joining me. We will be back next week where I don't know what we're going to be doing on the show next week, to be honest. We'll see. Shane and I have a secret mission,
We do have Secret Mission.
and we are going to be coming back with some films to discuss.
And a very interesting guest who we will have bound and gagged until they're coming on the show.
God only knows what you mean by that. Oh, yes, sorry. Yes, a certain movie star that'll be coming on the show.
Yes.
Everybody buy tickets to Boy Party Live. You can go to boypartypod.com. Follow Boy Party Pod on Instagram and Blue Sky. Vote for Catherine Connolly, #1 for President of Ireland. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Christina. Thank you so much, everybody. Get home safe. Bye-bye.
Bye.